Okay, first thing, a lot of credit to Oregon. Obviously, that's a great team, especially at home, as we talked about all week. This is the hardest place to play against that team in the country. So a lot of credit to them. I'm sure they'll go and continue to have a great year with a bunch of great players led by D'Anthony today. He was obviously awesome. As far as the game, just really excited for, first of all, our fans. They've been through so much has been taken away from them. And second of all, our players. These guys, as you know, a lot of young guys, very few seniors on this roster, very few, I think over half our roster had never played college football before this year. So for these guys to come together the way they have, especially the last, 5-6 weeks, has been great to see. Their maturity level and handling themselves in these situations, never giving up. So very excited for our fans and for our players.
What's the secret to beating Oregon?
Well, I think people have come really close. Just like we did last year. Just got to find a way to do it the whole game and tackle really well. And for the most part, we did that. Obviously, they made their plays. They're going to. Nobody's going to completely shut them down. And then you better score as we did early, and then we screwed up in the second half. Really, we didn't finish off our drives in the second half, so why it became so close. With the multiple turnovers in there, and then after the block punt, only getting 3 points. So we let them hang around too much and almost cost us.
What's it like watching that 24-point lead get narrower and narrower as a game?
Yeah, it wasn't fun at all. We just kept going the wrong direction. I was trying to obviously still move the ball as we were, but then we were screwed. I was just trying to run the play clock down so the game was shortened. And unfortunately, we were doing that, but then we were screwing up. We get a miscommunication on a third down that forces us to have to punt. We get an interception, down there, a bang play, and then missed handoff between a fifth-year senior and Heisman Trophy candidate. So those things usually don't happen. Unfortunately, we did those and gave him a chance.
It looked like Mark wasn't expecting a run play. Is that the issue there?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just a missed handoff, between the two of them, just a freak thing, and kind of almost one of those you see it and say, how does that happen? Those guys have had hundreds of handoffs together, over the course of being here.
Defensively, what did you change from last year? What did you learn from playing those guys?
I don't think we changed a whole lot schematically. I think we've improved as a second year in the system. Probably one of the most exciting things of the day to see is that we came up here and we were fortunate to beat Oregon with 3 freshman linebackers. That's saying a lot versus it's probably the best offense in the country. So to see those guys play, and then the guys on the young guys on the other side of the ball led by Marquise Lee, I think it'd be hard to argue he wasn't at least arguably one of the best players, if not the best player on the field today.
How well did your offensive line play today in moving Oregon's defensive line back and getting running room?
Yeah, I thought in the second and third quarters they did a great job. And then we were screwing up with some penalties. We convert a third down. It's a big momentum third down, and our lineman had just barely gone down before the motion, so that came back, and then we didn't make the third down after that. But I thought they did some really good things throughout the game for a very inexperienced group.
Is this easily the biggest victory of your tenure at USC?
Oh, I think that's easy. To break the longest home winning streak in the country says a lot about this team and how far they've come.
Despite not playing to having 2 touchdowns and then Dion coming out and Rhett coming out and all those people being banged up, what does that speak to your team's toughness?
Yeah, thank God we didn't go to overtime. We were running out of people. Rhett was done for the game. Ross Cummings was done for the game. We didn't have a fullback, and so we were going to be limited in our personnels. But guys just kept trying to step up. They were trying to go in. Our trainers were holding them out, which was the right thing to do, obviously. But it was neat to see, and Robert wasn't going to allow himself not to play. Still wasn't 100% out there, but he was making the plays, and then the kids stepped up, when we needed them.
Does this win reestablish USC as one of the elite teams in the program, in the country, in your estimation?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure there'll still be a writer in AP that will break the top 25, so we'll see, whatever. We don't care much about that. Just proud of our guys and how they play because, obviously, it's not about the team, about the players when you see stuff like that.
The importance
Is this
early
your bowl
on.
game?
No, just like the Stanford game was, Notre Dame. We got a huge game next week. All along we wanted to make sure that, we established ourselves as the best team in the South. And none of this will mean anything if we don't come and play great next week.
Passing game from the start, real important. Lee, Woods, Barkley, all kind of connecting to give you that start early on.
Yeah, and a tough place to play, and versus a very good, that's a great defense, not a very good defense. And that defense has shut people down, and those safeties tackle great, and the line gave us problems inside. And so it was very critical to make all those plays, even the shorter ones in the passing game, to keep drives alive as we were, especially early.
You think Mark's a Heisman candidate? Do you think a win like this really gets him in that discussion?
Yeah, we were here 9 years ago, and Carson Palmer lit these guys up, and all of a sudden, moved himself into the lead and ended up winning it. So I don't know, if you're on vote because he's on probation or sanctions or something like that, then he ain't gonna win. But if you look at what he's done with a bunch of young people, I can't imagine there's other guys out there putting up his numbers with a bunch of young kids around him.